Wait,
What's your name, sir?
My name is Jim Mello. I'm here from Flock Safety regarding the license plate reader cameras that we're proposing to put up in town. So our proposal is to put up 4 license plate reading cameras up over by the bridge, capturing that intersection, capturing traffic in there. Proposal is to do a 6-month trial period to start with a anytime opt-out period in that six months for no charge. The goal of that opt-out period does not start until the cameras are up and running and functional. The license plate reading cameras, allow for plates to be read and vehicle fingerprints to be identified. Each of the license plate reading cameras have the ability to get alerts based on the NCIC hot list, as well as custom hot list plates that are shared with Munhall and West Homestead that have also agreed to put up cameras in the borough. The goal being helping to identify who, some bad actors are that are entering town, where they're coming in, where they might be going, and giving the department the ability to respond to those cases as far as possible, by letting them know which direction the cars are going. We strategically place them up at that area because that's where the main traffic points are for this trial period. We wanted to get as much information and read as many places as we could. Again, this is in conjunction with the 2 other boroughs who have also will have cameras that are in the process of being permitted and installed. And the goal being to have those cameras in a position where, as a car passes, as it moves through town and over into West Homestead or over into Munhall, the plates will be read, the alerts will be given off, and allow for each department to work together as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, those are, first of all, they're strictly for just plate readers.
Yes, they're not live, they're just plates.
Now, why would you want to put them on the avenue instead of putting something higher? Because sometimes on higher things, people, if they're traveling, they may not want to travel on the main road because on the main road, they know there may be cameras on that main road. So if you put them up higher, so people may go up because it's easy to access all 3 boroughs on the upper street.
Yep.
So why not put some on the top, 2 on the bottom, maybe 2 up top?
Yeah, we discussed doing that. The conclusion we came to is that that's where the majority of the traffic would be. We're open to moving locations. We had decided to do the main avenue because the cameras are either solar powered or AC powered, and in terms of permitting, it was easiest to do it up on that road, to be able to put them on the ornamental poles. If we looked and tried to find something further into town, I know we would be open to trying that out, but we identified that in this trial period, we wanted to try and get the cameras in a spot where they would be able to read the most plates in this 6-month trial period. And if we determined at the end of the 6 months that we want to keep the cameras but move a couple and put them into a different spot, that is something that we would be able to identify and do. But our goal was just to try and see in this 6 months where we can capture the most traffic. And after conversing with Chief and the rest of the staff, that's what they decided where they thought the majority of the traffic would be.
So I have a question just about the pricing. So
Yep.
there is a 6-month free trial, at which point if Homestead decides to keep those cameras, I think that the price then is $12,000.
Yes.
Now, does that $12,000, does that start a year of us renting them, or is that $12,000, does that cover the 6 months that we had it, plus the next 6 months of the year?
It would be a start of the new 12 months that would come. So you would have a free 6 months and then 12 months. It would essentially be an 18-month contract
Okay.
for the price of 12 months.
But if we wanted to add another 4 cameras up to the borough, how much additional would that be? Is it prorated or is it another 12,000?
So if you were to position cameras how we have them positioned on the individual poles, it would be another $12,000 for those cameras. We do have an intersection bundle option where if you were to take a look at a 3-way intersection and put 2 cameras on one pole and face them in different directions, that would reduce the price from $3,000 per camera to $2,400 per camera, so saving $600. So if there were a spot in town where that was identifiable, we could make sure that we have that price. What I will say too is that we are in active discussions with the larger Western Pennsylvania, with both the Western Pennsylvania chiefs level and the district attorney's level, and we're attempting to try and get community pricing. So if we were able to do that, the price of the cameras could come down. I can't guarantee that, but what I can say is that that is something we're working on doing, we're aiming to try and accomplish. And part of the reason why we extended the trial as long as we did for 6 months, so that if the pricing changes in your favor, we will be able to take the contract, rip it up by the end of it, and present a new and improved price.
So the biggest expense for actually the camera,
Yes, so,
how often do you phase it out?
yes, so it's a yearly subscription cost, so at the end of the year, you would have to re-up on the price of the cameras.
You know, I understand.
Yeah, and-
What about the model with the camera comes
Yeah.
out, you replace them?
Yes, we do. So as a part of our subscription model, we replace the cameras as we come out with a new model. If weather or technology fails the cameras, we come out and we replace them as a part of the contract at no additional cost. We also maintenance the cameras, so if something were to go down on the software end, we come and maintenance it in the background. We do the installations as well. And we were able to waive the installation fee as a part of this trial, so there will be no install cost that comes along with the cameras. We are essentially a one-stop shop when it comes to installing, maintenance, and housing the cameras, so there's no need to play vendor tag on whose fault is this if the cameras are down. It's our fault, we gotta come and fix it. And so we take responsibility and ensure that wherever we're placing these cameras, they are approved if they're solar to be able to get the proper amount of sunlight, or if they're AC powered, that they're getting the proper power they need to function. And if it goes down, we will take responsibility and work on finding new.
How about a vandalism, if somebody shimmied up a pole and stole one, or shot one out with a BB gun, then what happens?
Yeah, so if there's vandalism, we leave that up to the department to investigate. What I will say is that our cameras are motion activated, so if somebody were to approach the pole and take something off, there would be images taken of that instance. But we do charge an $800 cost to replace the camera in the case of vandalism, and then leave it up to the department to investigate and prosecute the crime of vandalism of police property. And they can obviously insure or charge up to what they feel is necessary, in terms of criminal charges or reparation charges in terms of payment. So we do give the cameras at a reduced cost if that's the case.
$800 per camera.
Yes, per camera, if that would happen.
And does the cameras have to be like a conglomeration, like you said, there's 4 that's gonna be there?
Mhm.
What I understood before that there was gonna be placed throughout the avenue. So do you have to do it in a conglomeration of like 2 or 3 or 4, or can you separate it?
So you can separate them, but what we see is that the cameras point one direction at a time. It's tough to shoot a camera across, especially when it's only capturing back plates in an area like this, where if you shoot cross lane traffic, it's difficult to pick up the plates and information on the vehicle. What we always say is if an 18-wheeler passes by, our cameras are 12 feet tall, and it's not gonna be able to shoot through an 18-wheeler trailer cross lane. So we try and aim it up that if there's a 4-way intersection, we have cameras at each side, so it's picking up the plates going in each direction. So that's how we decided on doing this, because it was the busiest location in town. Again, I think that the key here is that with this trial period, you're not just trialing are these cameras working, but is this the right location for the cameras? And if it's worthwhile for us to explore other options in terms of locations for the cameras down the line, that's something that we're actively working to evaluate throughout this process and see if there's a better option.
Does Flock offer the live feed cameras as well? Because I think that, because these cameras, they're plate readers, they're not looking all over, they're fairly stationary for a purpose. I think for some of the concerns that we have for up on the hill, other places in Homestead, that probably one of the live feed cameras might be more appropriate for that need more than a plate reader. Is that, because if we're going to be looking to install these with a vendor on 8th Avenue, I think it's probably ideal that as we look to the future and future plans at Homestead, that we would like to expand under one contract with one vendor instead of managing multiple contracts. Like, do you do the live feed cameras as well?
Yes, so we do the live feed cameras. What I'll also point out is that soon you will have the option in the LPR cameras that, it's up to the departments, it's an additional smaller cost to it, where you can flip from a license plate reader to a live video on the same camera and catch a 15-second feed. But individually of that point where we offer separate live cameras, we do both fixed and pan-tilt zoom cameras that we can offer. Both come in AC powered and solar options. So you're able to either get a fixed live view of a certain area where you fix the camera, or a pan-tilt zoom that can go 180 degrees, view an entire area, zoom in on anything that you might find. So we do have those options, and it's all under the same interface. So for the department, if the chief needs to take a look at a live feed versus the LPR camera and time everything up, he doesn't have to go into two separate programs, doesn't have to have a separate server. We don't even have a server, everything's AWS cloud-based, so he just needs a login, and we house the data. He owns the township will own the data, but we'll house it and incur the cloud costs as a part of
So
it.
if he has to go in and, on one of the cameras that have, the variable option where you can flip it, like,
Yeah.
let's say that something happens overnight, that we don't know until after the fact, are they able to go back in time to turn it into a live feed?
So on the same camera, I would have to double check on that. It is potential that you can do that. I know on our live video cameras, where it's just the fixed or the PTZ, you are able to do that, where you can go back in time, take a look at a certain period, and you can look at a live feed that is existing. And he can do it on either a mobile app or on the web app. So whatever would work best for him to take a look at it. We offer both options.
How much do those cameras for live feed usually cost?
So the live feed cameras are the same cost as our LPR cameras. So if Chief wanted to put a separate like pan-tilt zoom camera up on the hill or up farther away from the intersection, we would find an install spot, and it would be $3,000 a year for that camera. And same thing as those cameras with the maintenance, the install, everything is all a part of one deal. What I will also add, not to keep adding things in, we do offer a fixed option bundle where if, and actually West Homestead is installing one of these, where you can add a fixed live video camera to the same pole as one of our LPR cameras for just a $500 cost, but it has to go on the same pole as the existing LPR camera. So that is another cost affordable option.
Jim's camera that's, one of that is one camera, and it's giving you a view down the street, and the computer is taking the license plates out of the image.
So our license plate readers will do that, but it will not give you like a live street view of that full time. It has to be two separate cameras in order to do that. What we determined was, typically if you're giving a live view and it's capturing all the plates at the same time, it tends to miss plates because it's too busy being either a license plate reader or a live video camera, and it can just over confuse machines.
It's not the camera, it's the software.
Yeah,
It's just the image.
yeah, exactly.
Any other questions?
Well, can I say one thing, please?
Yes.
So the chief, all three chiefs from all three boroughs, they sat down and met. They picked every location in and out of all three boroughs that there will be a camera set up. So like Monroe, we put ours, A through and B. Every location that we don't have a camera set up, Manly Prairie. So you won't be able to leave any of the three boroughs now with this program going on and not have your license plate card. So if you commit a crime, you can leave now and drive through Monroe and get away and not be seen. But after this, they're all installed. If somebody commits a crime in all three boroughs, you will be able to catch it on the plate readers. And the chiefs, they put the time together. They pick every intersection to put them. Like West Homestead, they go on 8. But you guys know how like Lower 837 is in 7th and 8th and Forest and West Run, Laurel Hill. They're putting them in all the locations that will work.
So just if I, like, hypothetically, if on West 16th, I commit a crime and I decide to go up West Street.
You're getting caught, 'cause
Okay.
one of those cameras are gonna be on Main Street up there. If you go down West Run towards the smoke shop, West Homestead is gonna have cameras in that area going towards L'Oreal and everything like that. So any intersection you plan on trying to leave is still valid.
What'd you say it said, you're going off of 16th, and you're going up towards the cemetery?
Going towards the cemetery. We're
And
gonna
you
have,
don't go to Main Street, you make.
go to the right, there's gonna be some down West Run. There's gonna be some
That's
down,
one, and, okay,
then going down Forest Avenue, Lower Hill, there's gonna be some down there.
we're going straight up.
Or going straight out, there's gonna be some out there.
When you go from Munhall, like you're in Homestead, and you go toward Munhall, that, yeah,
If
like
you go
pizza
down-
shop.
If you go down towards this house, we're gonna catch you.
So if they go over like 10th Avenue and cut down,
Cut down the hill, every intersection, every main intersection out that you have to go on to leave the borough, one on Homestead, West Homestead, you will be caught. Your plates are gonna be caught.
So you really don't need all those cameras, is that what you're
Though
saying?
we know you need all the cameras, but they're just,
I mean, the
all
extra
the
cameras
chiefs
that they
are
wanted to
just-
cop.
are placed in locations.
Well, the cameras that are getting placed now are mainly only the license
License
plate.
plates.
Right, so some of the issues that we have, we know we have hotspots in Homestead,
Right.
more of a live
More of a
feed
live
camera. Because at that point, right, on a live feed camera, we know that the chief can go and rewind back to whenever something happened, figure out what car was involved, plug that license plate number into the license plate reader one, and then they can trace its path out of here.
We'll know,
And
we're
then
gonna
also
know how
see
they leave.
what's going on if you have a live feed.
Yeah,
Somebody
but I,
somebody else could be driving the store, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, but if he calls in, he's looking for a white Toyota,
Mhm.
that doesn't help your.
It does. So our software allows for you to do vehicle footprinting identification. So there's actually currently 2 cameras up. Every Lowe's in the country just generates a number that there are 2 reports of that.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Crowley.
Hey, I'm Diane Walter, I'm from Steel Valley Accelerator, and we have 2 tip requests on the agenda tonight. One is for $1,200 to send to the Boy Scouts for the annual maintenance they do with the flowers and the grass down by the Grace Bridge. And the second is an extension of the request that was approved 2 years ago in 2023.
Forgive me.
Sorry. For funds to cover half of the role for the executive director. And we've been taking half of that for the last 2 years. We're adding a new role for a marketing coordinator to bring more awareness to things that we're doing and get more people to take on loans and grants. Are there any questions about either the request?
yes. On the one for the 37,000, for the hire and the marketing employee. Are you the executive director? Are
I'm
you-
the executive director. I just started a month ago. There was somebody else before me.
Okay, so do you have marketing experience?
I do, that's what my entire background is in, but, the board had, the Steel Valley Accelerator Board decided prior to me coming on to split it into 2 positions to maximize the effectiveness.
Yeah, I don't see spending 37,000 to hire somebody additional if you have that experience.
The idea is that the executive director focuses on bringing in new business and gaining awareness around the different things that we're doing, and then the marketing role is a lot of just doing social media, running events, and so it's a lot more tactical and things that are repetitive and take time.
Which one would have the financial?
The executive director.
Any other questions? Comments?
Just one point I'd like to make. Amanda and I talked about Tiffany today. I don't know how it's been accounted for properly over the last year. I don't
received an update about the TIF account, I think was 2 years ago, whenever council was asked to approve the position for the executive director. Per the conversation last week, Mary requested a spending summary, which is included in your packets. I guess the only information that was a little bit harder to follow, just would be, because this is a summary of spending since January, but it doesn't really provide much about what the balance was before. So I think that there's just been a lack of reporting to council, which I think it caused some of the questions last week.
Okay, when I, supplied the payment information several days ago, I asked if there was additional information needed, so I would have
So
that balance information included.
So, and again, I requested from you everything that council had wanted to see. But that's my take on where some of these questions are coming
I
from.
can let you know overall that all the dollars in the TIF are reported in our QuickBooks system. They're included in our tax reports. Any information you need, I can get for you. I can't speak to what was not shared in the past years because I was not involved.
On this particular report, does it include both enterprise zone spending and the TIF spending?
That is the entire TIF spending. So everything that came out of the TIF account, there was Boy Scouts, 2 building loans for West Homestead, and the executive director, half the salary that comes from the TIF. The other half of the salary comes directly from the enterprise zone's other bucket. But the TIF is a protected fund, so we have to account to you.
Well, no.
Second Thursday of next month.
I think it's
You
the
did
ninth.
it the first Thursday. You guys changed yours. Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you were referring to your second meeting with the first.
Second Thursday.
It's October 9th.
October 9th. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I am not local to the area, so I'm not sure if I can be here in person if needed, but I'm happy to dial in if there's any questions or anything needed. I'm happy to be available for a phone call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions from anyone on council? Any other comments, questions from the audience? And then we're gonna recess to an executive session, so you all.
No action.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, don't.
Okay, so. See you next month.
Thank you.